know, I got a really nasty email from Zoom last week telling me that I was taking up way too much storage in the cloud with my videos, and you're supposed to have 5 gigs on the cloud. And I looked, and there was like 60 gigs of stuff on there. And they would email and say, you've exceeded your storage, but nothing ever happened. So I just kind of never didn't do anything about it. And then they emailed and said, you have to delete stuff today, or you're not going to be able to make any more videos. And indeed, they weren't messing around. So I had to go on there and do the housekeeping, as it were. But anyway, so that should make us fine to record tonight. And I'm just going to tune up my fiddle. No, tuner crashed. Hate when that happens. She's working now. Alrighty. Now, can somebody remind me what we've been working on? Because I didn't. I was building the deck right until coming up here. So what's the we? Oh, okay. I'm starting to remember. We were doing. It was at Troy's wedding. We were kind of working on there. Kinda. Yeah. All right. And we were doing Cliffs of Moher. Did we do Cliffs of Moher? Did that one. Okay, that's really good. Did we do any reels?
I wasn't around much for most of October I don't know October, but I thought I was pulling out Kitty's wedding and the home
Oh yeah.
ruler.
Okay, yeah, we did practice that. Now you'll be happy to know there, Sue, that we did not learn anything new.
Yeah, that's good.
Just been resurrecting. That's all. Just trying to get Lazarus to look half decent.
Hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, so that would be really good. Home Ruler and Kitty's wedding would be great. I was thinking about a tune because it got played there over the weekend. I can't remember where, but it's called "The Wise Maid." Have we? I feel like we have learned that in the past, "The Wise Maid," and it occurred to me that it's such good practice with string changing and arpeggiating in tunes, and it's also one of the most popular Irish tunes going. So I thought maybe we could review that too. So anyway, so okay, if we did the Home Ruler and Kitty's wedding, I think we should practice starting off with the key of D. Okay, so we'll do a D major scale in arpeggio. We'll do some other stuff in the key of D just to get nice and warmed up. So maybe some double stops and maybe some arpeggio inversions would be really great. Being careful, we'll do that because we'll use that to work on the string changing thing. And then we'll work on those hornpipes and we'll go on from there. So let's do the key of D. We start on the D string, we go all the way up to A, all the way down to A. Okay? And when we do the arpeggio, we'll be starting on the low A. Anyway, my fiddle is still not 100%. All right, that'll do. Okay, D major, starting on the D string. Ready, 2, 3, and. Now that was relatively slow. It wasn't the slowest, but it was relatively slow. How did everybody do? Did you have to do a lot of tuning, or is it coming out pretty okay? Not bad. Let's do it again. Let's do it again right away. You can kind of see, keep an eye to that, see if there are problem notes. Okay, let's do it again. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, slow. All right, now hopefully that went better. Let's try the arpeggio, nice and slow and steady, starting on the low A. Ready, go. All right, now how did all that do there, guys? The D major, not bad? Not bad, good, bad, and average? Okay, good. Let's up the speed. Do it again. It's gonna be like this. Okay, and this is a tester. So we're gonna do scale and arpeggio at this speed, and then I wanna get a report from everybody, okay? Percentage, how you did by percentage. So let's give it a go. Scale and then arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, go! Now, how did we do? Let's start with you, Ann. How did you do? What percentage would you give yourself?
I don't know, 75.
Not bad. Anything in particular that you noticed, like kind of consistently bothered you?
I'm always flat on the G string on the way down, back down.
Flat, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this for Ann, but for the rest of you as well. Let's do some drop downs on the C sharp, okay? So we'll start with the A to the C sharp. That's what we're gonna do. So remember, your first try is not gonna be in tune. The second one should be in tune. And then try to do exactly the same. We're gonna do it a total of 5 times. Here's your low A. Okay, let's do it. Drop down on the C sharp. Ready, go. Again. Again. 2 more. Okay. Now, did you manage to get some successful ones in there, Ann?
Yeah.
Oh, good, because that's really key for setting up the G string on the way down the D scale, right? Getting that C sharp right, because then you can use that as a reference for the other notes and it'll be just fine. But that is a hard one. Now let's do some descending ones, going from the D string to the C sharp. That's what it sounds like, okay? Ready, 2, 3. One more. Okay. So did you get some successful ones that time? It's not as easy. The descending is a lot harder than ascending. So that's why it's always good to do ascending first. Okay? Then your ear will lock into the C sharp. You'll have a better success rate coming down. Okay? But you got a few good ones in there?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
helpful. Thanks. I'll practice that.
Yeah. How's everybody else's C sharp? Did it help after all that work? That's great. Very, very good. Okay, so that's Anne. How about you, Susan? How did you do? How would you rate yourself on that scale in arpeggio?
This Susan?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, the fiddle's having a hard time tuning today.
Oh, yeah?
Still taking its time, but
Is it the fiddle?
well, it's probably me, but yeah.
Did you get something done to your fiddle? Oh, yeah, you got it all put back together again.
Back together. So yeah. I thought that since the strings were oldish, I mean, they were already several months old, I thought it would be easier for them to stay in tune in their new position, but
It's not the strings. It's going to be the whole setup of your fiddle. It just needs time to settle in. That's all it is. And it'll take I don't know, probably like about 10 tunings for everything to finally stop moving around. Okay? So just keep tuning it. All right. How about you, Sue Leader?
Yeah, that C sharp is always a tough one. I agree.
Okay.
But the drop downs will help for sure.
Overall, how did you do though? What would you give yourself?
Probably about a 75.
Not bad, not bad. Geez, when I was a teenager, like Calvin's age, I would have loved to get a 75. That would have been awesome. Anyway, how did you, speaking of you there, Calvin, how did you do? What would you give yourself?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe like a 85.
Woohoo! Yeah! Excellent. Confidence of the young. That's great. How about you there, Pearl? How did you do? Give me your percentage.
Okay, I don't know if this is allowed. I do have my tuner out with me.
That's good. That'll tell you. It'll tell you how you did. And what did your tuner think of you?
I'm getting most of the notes. What's happening is my bow pressure's weird, so it's kind of, I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it flattens you. So when you have a little bit too much pressure on the bow, it flattens the pitch like you wouldn't believe, like almost a half a semitone.
Okay, because that's what's changing.
Okay. The way to battle that is motion of bow. Take all the weight off and just scoot it as much as you can.
Okay, I'll do that. Also, I went on Saturday to Noonan's.
Oh, to the Uilleann Piping Day. And how was it?
It was fun. There was only 5 of us, but I think that was good because my grandmother wanted to come and she can't handle too many loud noises.
Well, and it's all pipers, so there'll be a lot of loud noises. How many pipers were there?
There were 2 pipers, and then 3 fiddles.
Okay, not bad. Yeah, so Saturday was International Uilleann Piping Day. Irish Piping Day, and we couldn't go. It was at Noonan's. They had an event at Noonan's, and my friend Debbie Quigley was playing there. She's an awesome piper from the north of Ireland. But me and Ross couldn't go because we had this damn Poor Angus gig. So we really regretted not being able to be there. But anyway, I'm glad you went there, Pearl. That's great. Okay, let's try one more at that speed. Now you know what to work on. You know what to listen for. And we're going to go for getting that average up to, like, say, 85 instead of 75. Or for you, Calida, 95. Okay, here we go. A 1, 2. Oh, poor Susan. Just give her a second there. So she's battling and fighting and wrestling a fiddle. Is it okay? Okay. It's pretty hard to work on intonation on an out-of-tune fiddle. Here we go. A 1, 2, 3, go. had a perfect game there, but it was F sharp on the E string was sharp both times for some reason. But anyway, you guys do better? Did you do better than you did before?
So much better.
Oh, good. That's great. Okay, now while we're doing so good in this key, let's do some arpeggio inversions. A little slower than that while you figure it out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, how did everybody feel about that? Was it not too bad? Okay, let's do it again right away then. 1, 2, 3. Oh, terrible start for me. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3. Better for me. How about you guys? Doing good? Okay, great. That's a great exercise for strengthening your intonation because your ear keeps doing all these triangulations and before you know it, you'll have these arpeggios. Now, the nice thing is once you speed it up, you can do it with jig rhythm. Which people find is a great way to strengthen that jig rhythm, the feel for the jig. So in fact, let's try a little faster because I'd love to get to the point where we can do that. We can use it to work on the jig rhythm. So let's go a little faster. Let's go like this. Ready, go. Still feeling good? We will continually speed that up, okay, until it's pretty quick and still feeling good. And you can loop it like that. Really good to do. Just loop it until it starts taking shape. And then remember the spacing of your hand and everything. Alrighty, let's move on to the hornpipes. Home ruler, Kitty's wedding. Okay, there she is. And Kitty's wedding. Now that COVID is over, the tradition and practice of having people sleeping in our basement has begun. And so, in fact, right now we have Scott Robinson, who plays trombone for the Quebec City Symphony, and he's playing with the TSO this week, and so he's living in our basement. And pretty soon it's going to be another musician living in our basement, and so it goes on. That's kind of the way it is when you live in Toronto. You end up with people sleeping in your basement all the time. But I think it's great because it's really good to have musicians in the house. And Scott's a great guy, and so I think it's a good thing. Anyway, okay. So home ruler and Kitty's wedding. Let's go nice and easy to start off with, just to remember everything. Think we can handle that speed? Great. So let's do them twice each, see how we get along, answer questions, deal with problems, Then we'll do them again, and we're going to work on rhythm, and we're going to try to get them a little faster and see if we can get it stronger. Okay? So here we go. 2 times each home ruler first. 1, 2, 3. That was 11 minutes straight of playing hornpipes at that speed. Was it okay? Any problems? Anybody having any problems with either of them?
Does it count if your arm starts to get really sore?
Count towards what? That's just the
Having
fact of
trouble?
life. Oh, well, maybe. Yeah, it depends on which arm. Which arm gets sore on you?
The left one. The one that, yeah.
That's the same as me. It's a very common problem, and they call. I've met massage therapists that have worked on violinists a lot, and they call it the terrible twist because it's not a good thing to do. Like it's just a really hard thing on your body to do that all the time, and then you have to have that on top of it. Now, my best advice, I battled that problem, and it got to the point where my left arm and my hand were going numb. And it was because I was not using a shoulder rest. It's because I took 8 years off of playing the fiddle. And when I was growing up, I never used a shoulder rest. Same with my brother Sean, never used one, even with first degree and everything. And so then when I started playing again, I just did it, just assumed everything was normal. And then after a while, I started to get this problem in my left arm. And so I went to see a physiotherapist, and he said that when you put your arm up like that, the shoulder blade does this and impacts the ulnar and bias nerves coming out of your spine, right where they come out. They call it trucker's elbow as well. And so he said the best thing to do to battle that is to drop the shoulder. And so I messed around with shoulder rests. I think I used 4 of them, including the sponge, before I found a setup that worked for me. And so now I can put my fiddle there, and there's absolutely no shoulder coming up to hold it at all. It's just completely like I could take a nap right now. And that seems to kind of really, really help, making sure you're doing that. The other thing, of course, is this stretch here.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really helpful. And the one I do all the time, which is
One against the wall?
the wall thing is great. So that's the carpal tunnel stretch. That's kind of more specific, but for the whole left arm, I do this thing and I do this thing, which is really, really useful. And that's something that I do while I'm playing. So in between sets, I'll just do a couple of quick these here and this here, and that kind of keeps me going for another 50,000. But the most important aspect of it is to try to relax the left shoulder.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Yeah, and it's going to make you faster and better too, right? Because the more tension there is, that slows you down.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Good point, though. You make a great point there, Pearl. Anybody else have any insights or problems like that they want to describe to me? How is the string changing? Is it pretty smooth? Not so funky chicken? More like this? So that's kind of one of the reasons we're doing this set of tunes. Okay, well, if nobody has any problems, we're going to go faster. It'll be good. It'll take less time. So roll out the shoulders, take a couple of breaths, whatever, smoke a cigarette, whatever you got to do, and let's do it. So it's going to be kind of like this. I think we can do it. Let's do it. 2 times each. Oh, 1, 2, 3. That took a little less time. How was it at that speed? Was it still okay? Good. Okay. I'll tell you what that speed was. And our eventual speed for these is going to be like this. See that? Not the fastest. Not a huge amount faster than that. That's also a very good stretch there, Sue. Excellent stretch for the traps. Okay, metronome. So that was, it was about 70. 70 on the metronome for those that we practiced, okay? Now, why don't we try playing them kind of up to speed and see if anything goes wrong? You never know, something might not go wrong, right? So it might just be fine, which would be just, wouldn't that be empowering? So like, check this out. Let's do it. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. right. Well, nobody died or puked. So that's good. How did we get along? Did it work? Were you able to play it at that speed? Kinda?
For
I
some
got
reason,
to
I
the
don't
end.
know. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I got to the end eventually.
Okay, that's good. That's great. Anything stop you in particular? Did anything stop you that you had to overcome or?
Not really. I think I just misinterpreted how fast we were going. So then I was going too fast and I was going too slow. So I just had to stop for a second and I was listening and I was like, okay. And then I got there.
Yes, okay. And that's, that could also be a function of lots of people complain about this Zoom format that it's hard to hear me when you're playing your fiddle, right? So that could have got a little out of sync in that way. Sometimes some people put a practice mute on when they're trying to play along with me on the computer. But that's normal, what you went through, so we're just going to leave that and hope that it doesn't happen next time. How about you, Ann? You were about to say something there?
I was just going to say, I think it's probably just that I practiced the home ruler more than Kitty's wedding, but I found it less difficult to keep up in the home ruler.
Okay.
But I also sort of figured out the bowing and the slurs in the home ruler, which I didn't really get around to doing in Kitty's wedding. So I was a bit lost as to what to do in that piece at that speed.
Yes, and it would be important to get the same bowing pattern as in the home ruler to get through it at that speed. Like it would make a big difference. So it is exactly the same bowing pattern as the home ruler, meaning after the long notes, you do the up-ups and everything else is just straight downy uppy.
Okay. Do you do like long, short kind of real bowing, generally speaking?
You mean like for the rhythm?
Yeah, like yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out and put like pencil slur marks in so that I get it into my brain. I think like I
Sure,
did.
I'll show you just quickly. I'll share my, oh, whoops, I just opened up FaceTime. I don't need that. I'll share my screen and I'll just show you quickly how that works. Oh, where did my tune go? Here it is. Oh. Okay, so for Kitty's wedding, so we got an up. Well, you start with an up. That's a 2-note pickup, and it's always good to start those with a slur. Always really good. And then there's this. Then that would put this on a down bow. Here, this one here is on a down bow, and then you're gonna go up for the B and the D. So slur that, and then down, and then up. And then down, up, and that will put this D here is going to end up being a down bow. Okay, and then up here, these 2 notes, and then you're straight downy uppy until you get to this long note here. That's going to be a down. These 2 are going to be an up. See that? So down, up. Okay. Now it's exactly the same bowing pattern for the next part. Exactly the same. Down, up, down, up, down, down, up, and the rest is straight downy uppy. Okay? Now the second part's more forgiving. The second part we got an up to start. The 2 pickup notes are an up, and then it's just straight bowing, straight downy uppy until you get to this E. Then you got to do an up. Other than that, straight downy uppy for the whole rest of it. Okay, I think that'll help you.
Thank you. Yes, it does.
Yeah, no problem. Easy for me. Okay, anybody else have any bits or pieces they want to talk about with the hornpipes? I'm ready to hear complaints or anything really.
No complaints, but it's got a lot. They both have a lot in common with Wise Maid.
Yep, well, it's the same key, first of all, and the same kind of arpeggiated approach. Yeah, so there you go. Maybe that's what made you think of it.
You play that as a third one in that group or not?
No, because it's a reel. So that's a reel. So you could, but it's kind of unusual, and you would have to really jump up the tempo. So you could put another hornpipe with it, but you'd be very cheeky to do so because these 2 hornpipes are always played together. And if anybody ever splits them up, they get weird looks from the old people. You know what I mean? So yeah, so there's that. Okay, cool. Well, let's leave those for now then. Let's continue on in the key of D with the Wise Maid. Let's see if we can start working on the Wise Maid. Bring that back from the brink. Does anybody need me to send it? Yes? Okay, you got it, Ann? No problemo. Okay, so that's Wise Maid. Okay. So I'm just going to forward you this email. It's got another tune on it called The Drunken Landlady there, Ann, that I think you're probably going to like anyway. The running. Yeah, okay. All right, just sent it to you. Now take a look at that. We're going to start practicing it slow. Again, this is a string changing exercise. It's a really, really good exercise for string changing and for playing in the key of D. And we're going to work on the speed. Give me 1 second to make sure the girl finished her homework. Girl, Sylvia, did you finish all your work? You did your dance practice? And you finished your choir work? Okay, then you're good to go. Okay. She assures me everything's done. She's watching YouTube now. She's coming out with me to orchestra practice tomorrow because Jen's doing this video game show. She does this from time to time. Kitchener-Waterloo is doing a video game show, and this is really amazing. The orchestra plays the music for the video game while people are playing the game on a huge screen. Now, usually these shows are massive. There's thousands of drooling nerds, that's what I call them, that go to these shows, and they're really, really huge. Kitchener-Waterloo, it's a little bit smaller, but Jennifer is taking Jerome and Jerome's friend Nathan to the show, which is pretty cool. They're both complete video game fanatics, so they're gonna love it. It's gonna be great, but it means that I gotta take the girl to orchestra practice with me, so that should be fun. Okay, Wise Maid, did you get it okay there, Ann? You looking at it? Great. All right. I love this tune. One of my faves. My favorite version is Planksty. The band called Planksty played it after a song. I can't remember which song now. But it's the piper Liam O'Flynn that played in the band called Planksty. And for anybody that likes Scottish and Irish music, especially Irish music, you can't go wrong with Planksty. Like, they're just a massive, awesome band. They had one of the best pipers to ever live in the band. And the singing is off the charts, and the songs are all the great ones that you recognize. And I always recommend it. Like, you can't go wrong, especially in the car. But so Liam O'Flynn plays this tune after one of the songs, and it's my all-time favorite version of the Wise Maid. So let's go nice and easy, and we're going to play it. Now, you see I got a bunch of bowing written in there, Ian. Don't worry about it right now. It's kind of an exercise. It's called the long bow style, and it's an Irish way to bow the tune, where you put 3 up notes in an up bow, and then 1 note in a down bow, and then the next 3 notes in an up bow. And it creates this here. You see how that rhythm pops out there? Because everything's in the up bow except those big down bows, so the down bows belt out and make the backbeat rhythm. Don't worry about the bowing right now that's written in there. Just try to get the tune so that it's smooth. And I'd love to get the bowing in there. We did work on it briefly a little bit a long time ago. So I'd love to get back into this long bow style. But for now, let's just play the Wise Maid. Okay, so let's kind of go like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. looked like they were in too much distress in the playing of that tune. How's everybody feeling with the Wise Maid? It's actually kind of a handful. It's a lot of notes there. Everybody doing okay with it? Not bad? Okay, good. Shall we speed it up a little bit? Now, before we do that, though, I was playing here and I was realizing that this tune is a great opportunity to work on 2 rolls. Oh, you gotta go study. Okay, Calada, good luck. 2 rolls in this tune. The F roll on the D string, and then the E roll on the D string. That's that one there. And I'd love to take a second and work on those 2 rolls. Because I don't feel like we've really worked a whole lot on rolls. You know, like we've touched on them. I've talked about them a bit. We attempted them a little bit. But I'd like to keep that forward momentum going. So our roll, just to remind you, is the note above, the note again, the note below, and the note to finish. That's a roll, an Irish roll, okay? So let's do a whole bunch of them. Just the F roll, let's just go like this. Okay, let's do a whole bunch of them, and then I'm going to see if anybody's having any problems. I'll count us off. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, the fingers that I can see look excellent. Really, really good. Let's go a little faster. Like this. 1, 2, 3, go. How's that going at that speed? Still working? That's great. Let's keep pushing it. Faster. So it's going to be like this now. 1, 2, 3, go. Looking good. The finger work looks really good. It looks like, you know, it should be working. So I hope it is. Now let's do some E rolls. Same thing. Well, now this is an up bow roll. When you hit the E roll at the end of the first line, that's going to be an up bow roll. So a slightly different approach, but we can still practice it going both directions. So it's going to sound like this. I'll give you the picture of my fingers here again. I use my third finger to do it. You can try your both. A lot of people use their second. A lot of people use their third. So see what works for you. But let's do it slow. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, everything's looking so good there, guys. Very, very good. Let's speed it up. It's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, looking great, looking great. Faster. It's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, go. good. Okay. Is that feeling all right? Those rolls? 2 rolls. Yeah. And it's so good in a tune to just have a couple because you can make a challenge of it every time. Now you have 2 F rolls. You only have 1 E roll. Okay. So definitely it's a little bit more pressure for the E roll, but still you repeat the tune so you get another crack at it and you repeat the part. So now, okay, all good with the rolls? Great. Let's give it a try a little faster. The rolls should work way better now. From the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That was a clip and a half. How did we do? Did everybody get along okay? Like, did you come out the other side? Not bad? That's good. Is it doable? Do you think we can get it up there? Great. Any questions or comments about the Wise Maid before we move on?
No, but I do have to leave. Thank you so much for the
All
lesson.
right. No problem there, Pearl.
If I'm doing a roll with my third finger, it is so not accurate. 2 is not bad though. Can you just stick with the 2?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you might be a person that uses 2. You mean for the first finger roll, right? Yeah. So just go ahead and use the 2 if that's the one that's working.
It's It's the only one that's working, yeah.
That's the only rule there is for that, eh? It's just like, because I've heard players talking about it and they just say, for me it works. And then the other guy's like, well, for me the second works. It's just whatever works you use. Okay? Anybody else have any insights? No? Okay, great. So we're going to keep working on that. So that was, for your records, the speed of that was 70. Okay? And you look horrified at that. Are you disappointed with yourself? Did you think you could go faster?
No, I mean, I've never seen this tune before, and it's just ridiculous.
Did you get along okay?
I mean, no, but it's okay.
It looked like you were getting along okay.
Well, I think it will.
It's pretty straightforward though. It's like, it's almost like an exercise in the key of D. So I don't think it'll take you long, okay? Why don't we do it 2 more times just for Anne's sake here, because it's brand new for her, and we'll take it back just a tiny notch with the tempo, okay? All right, let's do it. Oh, just 1 second while I stop the YouTube. Just give me 1 second. Okay, tell me up. Okay, so it's time to turn off YouTube and get your pajamas on, because remember Mom said she wants you to be in your pajamas when she gets home, right? She's going to be home in about 10. So I want you to turn off YouTube and get into your pajamas. Okay. Thank you. Alrighty. One more time with the wise man. A 1, 2, 3. It's looking good. I was looking at your hand and everything there, Ann. You're doing good. Just keep playing it at that speed if it works for you, okay? And we'll speed it up. We'll keep working on speeding it up. All right, that's the wise maid. So now we're going to work on the jigs, the Cliff's and Moher and the Troy's wedding, but just wondering if we ever did the jig of slurs.
Yes, we did. I was
We-
gonna say, we have been also working on the jig of slurs.
Well, why don't we play why don't we start off with the jig of slurs, because it's in the key of D. It switches to G, but my family used to play it before Troy's wedding. And so I think they go really, really well together. So let's practice the jig of slurs to get into the jigginess, first of all, and keep working out in the key of D. And then we'll look at the hard one. Let me just get out the version that we're working with here for the jug of slugs. The jig of slurred speech. Brian told me and Ross that we're not allowed to play the jig of slurs no more at the session on Tuesday because he's tired of it, and because it's a very common Highland pipe tune. So when Ross gets the border pipes out, we sometimes play it because everybody knows it. But Brian's like, no more. And he also doesn't want us to play the Sligo Main anymore, which I find hilarious because that's like his favorite tune, and he's from Sligo. But you see, you get tired of stuff, like even if you're from there, I guess. All right, the jig of slurs. Oh, I gotta reinforce the YouTube. Come on, Sylvie. Okay. Got it. Thank you, darling. Okay. She's good to go. Okay, jig of slurs. Okay, that looks like a doable tempo. Let's give it a go. And we're going to do it 2 times. 1, 2, 3, go! breather there. It's a long tune. So what is it? Four-parter. Four-parter. Long one. Anybody having any problems that might get in the way of going faster? Okay, we're gonna do it then. Roll out the shoulders if you have to. We're gonna go faster. We're gonna go like this. Like that. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, that was a great clip, guys. I was very encouraged by all that. And I'll just tell you how fast it was, but I don't know if you noticed, but it was a tempo at which I was starting to get jig rhythm in there, because that's the thing about jig rhythm, is that when you get a certain speed, it happens on its own. This and so that was a speed where it's possible. Now I'm just going to see what speed that was. And you'll be happy to know 85 for the jig of slurs. 85. So remember that, because that's kind of your progress, okay? And we're gonna go for even more than that, of course. We're gonna go for like 95. I'll let you know what it'll sound like when we get to 95. That'll be a really good thing to do. Okay. Yeah. That's 95. Okay, so it's encroaching on actual tempo for jigs. 95 is like the borderland of like, it's like Detroit, Windsor for jigs. Okay, so keep working at the 85. If you had no problem at 85, that's so good. Keep working on that all week. We're going to push it next week. We're going to try to push it. Okay, now let's take a look at Troy's wedding here. Our last thing we do. We're going to go slow and easy and get it working again. Troy's wedding. Me and Ross were talking about this tune yesterday on the way home from, on Saturday on the way home from North Bay. What a great tune it is, and how hard it is, and how underplayed it is. It doesn't get played that much, I gotta say. It should be played a lot more. So anyway, let's just go nice and easy, and we're just working through this, right? We're just doing the phonetic language learning. One note after the other. Okay. So let's see, I can't remember what tempo we left off at. So I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like... Is that going to work? Everybody looks like they're grooving. Let's give it a try. If you're grooving, that's half the battle. 1, 2, 3, go. Sorry guys, hit that other version in my head. So let's start on the third part, okay? Syncopated part. Ready, 2, 3, go. Now it's all looking like it's working just fine. How's the comfort level? Not bad? How about you, Ann? How you feeling about the comfort level on this one?
The syncopated part, I have trouble sort of knowing when to lift my first finger and when to put it on both the A and the E strings. Like it just isn't really coming naturally.
Okay, yeah. And it's something you gotta force at first, for sure. Yeah. Let's take that part and let's do it like 300 times. Just that part, okay? Everybody's gonna try to work yourself into finding a shape for your hand, a position at your hand that's gonna do most of it for you. Now, just before we do it, I wanna demonstrate what my hand does again, okay? They're usually in tune. You seeing that, everybody? I'll do it again. Real close. There we go. So you see how I'm doing that? Mostly it's the third finger staying put for the most part. Okay, the first finger comes into it a couple of times, but mostly it's that third finger that has to roll over and get the B. Okay, let's do it endlessly. Just that part. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Again. One more. Faster. Last time. Okay. Now, Ann, I'm watching your hand. You're doing really good. You're making good progress there. Now, and most people have a very similar experience to what you're having, which is it works sometimes, but then you find your finger coming up when you want to keep it down. And you have to kind of consciously put it back down, go at normal part of the process. Just make sure every time you do notice that the finger has come up, just make sure you get it back down and kind of force the issue in that way.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. It went much better when just that drilling. 'Cause I haven't been practicing it, so I will practice.
Sure. No, it's good for everybody here, of course, to drill that part. It's so good. Okay, let's try her from the top slightly faster, and that'll be it for tonight. Working you guys hard. It's like 90% playing tonight. All right. One, two, three, go! Troy got married. Right on. Finally got hitched. And he's a piper, though. I can't imagine who would have took that. But anyway, it's all right. Who was it that I was talking? Oh yeah, so we have a babysitter. Her name is Ann Collins, and she's great. She's a new babysitter, and her parents are like they're associated with a pipe band, or maybe it was her father's. Her father's a piper, and her mother actually forbade her from dating a piper. She said, "I'm not a person that wants to tells my kids what to do, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't bring a piper home here. It's not a good idea. Don't be doing it. I won't have it." I can't really blame her, but anyway. Okay, so is that tune now in a place where we can get it up to the speed that we're hoping for? That last go was actually about like encroaching on the 80 mark. Okay, that last go through. So it's encouraging. Everybody seems to be sticking with it just okay. Before you play it, play the syncopated part. All right? Before you even attempt the tune, start slow, hold them fingers down a couple times, and then try it fast when you're practicing at home. All right? And we'll put those two jigs together. We'll do them as a set. Be really good. It's a bit of playing, so you got to work out your arm, but I think it'll be good. And then we'll see if we can move on. Maybe get some new material. We've been resurrecting for a while, so it might be good to learn a new tune. I have a couple in mind too. Alrighty? Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks a million. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, bye-bye.